Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode number 487 of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, as well as NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. Got your questions here regarding Raw, Slammiversary, and other topics. So let's get started with the first one today from Dave451985. What were your thoughts on Stardust? Was this the best way to make Cody Rhodes relevant and interesting again? And also, Kayfabe Candy Ass asked me, do you think Cody Rhodes was better off turning heel than turning into Stardust? Certainly, the debut of Cody Rhodes as the Stardust character generated a lot of discussion amongst internet fans. It was probably the most interesting thing about Raw this week. Cody Rhodes coming out dressed up in a similar costume to Goldust, and he is now Stardust. So what does this mean? Where do things go from here? I think that you could still have Cody Rhodes turn heel at some point, and this is just something different for him to do. And a lot of mixed feelings from various people. Some people think that this is going to kill his career. Other people think that this is going to be the beginning of something big for him. I think that it probably isn't going to make all that much of a difference. I think that if the end result is Cody Rhodes versus Goldust and you're going to do that feud, I think it's fine if you have him do this character and team up with Goldust as a way to try to keep the team going, and then eventually you can have Cody turn on him. So I'm not expecting it to be a permanent thing. I'm guessing that eventually he'll drop that gimmick and turn on Goldust and you'll finally have that match. But for the time being, I mean, it's not like Cody Rhodes is going to be a main eventer one way or another, so at least you're doing something different with him. And it got a lot of people talking, and a lot of people said they like the music, and the whole look is different for him. So whatever, I mean, it was entertaining, and that's what counts at the end of the day. Alright, this one comes from Live Life Loudly. Hey Aaron, do you think Roman Reigns will keep the Shield theme song and wrestling gear? Would it be good or bad? Would it be a good or bad idea? Personally, I would like to see him keep his vest and hand tape, but maybe change from pants to tights of some sort. Well, I definitely think that with the Shield broken up, and it was pretty clear on Raw that Ambrose and Reigns are going to be going off on their own in different directions, I think that everybody should have different gear. As far as the theme song goes, I think that Roman Reigns should keep the Shield theme song. It's a catchy song. People like it. And at least one guy should keep that theme. So I'm fine with Roman Reigns having that theme. Or maybe do what WWE did with Batista. Batista had his theme song, and then they changed it up when he went babyface and added lyrics and redid it a little bit. So maybe you could update the Shield theme song, maybe add lyrics to it, do something where it's a little bit different for Roman Reigns, but keep the same basic song. And as far as wrestling gear, yeah, I definitely think everybody should be getting rid of their Shield gear. Why Seth Rollins still comes out with the Shield gear, I honestly have no idea, other than the fact that maybe WWE is still trying to figure out how they want him to look, and if they want him to wear something completely different or not. Dean Ambrose came out in street clothes very similar to the Shield gear, so not really sure why the gear hasn't been changed yet. Really couldn't tell you. Alright, this one comes from Philly Reese. So I don't understand why Seth Rollins didn't get a spot in Money in the Bank for joining Triple H. I'm lost here. Please answer in video. Yeah, that is definitely a logic hole. You would think that in the storyline, since Randy Orton got to be in the match without having to do anything, why not Seth Rollins? Why did he not get a reward for turning on the Shield? Once again, I really couldn't tell you why WWE didn't have Seth Rollins get a spot in the Money in the Bank, other than the fact that they're going to do Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. But there was no good reasoning why Triple H didn't give him a spot in the match. So once again, don't really know. I mean, that's the WWE writing for you. They don't really think things out very well. And there's a word going around that Vince fired the head writer. I don't know if that's the case or not, but certainly wouldn't surprise me with the way the shows have been going the last several weeks with all these logic holes. I mean, it's very common in WWE to have things not make sense and questions not being answered. All right, this one comes from Craig Humpage1. Hi, Aaron, do you think that Dean Ambrose is the latest victim of awful generic theme music? Also, what do you make of Rollins still wearing the Shield gear, which I already covered? As far as Dean Ambrose's theme goes, I don't even remember it. I didn't think it was terrible from what I could recall, but obviously if I don't remember it, that's not a good sign either. Yeah, I mean, this is once again a problem when things are done at the last minute and they're not thought out in advance. You know, they have to come up with a theme song really quick, and a lot of the times, you know, they end up changing it and tweaking it, and that's just the nature of how things go when you don't plan it out in advance. And it's pretty clear that this whole Shield breakup, you know, it was planned a couple months ago, and then they turned babyface, and then I think the decision was just made to do the turn, get people talking, have a big storyline for the summer. And they didn't really think it out, though. They didn't come up with you know, theme music well in advance, or come up with gear for these guys. You know, I don't know why they didn't, because the eventual plan was for the Shield to break up. So one would think that they would have done this, but they didn't. So once again, don't know what to say about it. All right, this one comes from Wrestling Do 95. Yo, Aaron, what are your thoughts on the Slammiversary pay-per-view, and what was your favorite match on the card? All in all, it was a very solid effort from TNA. Say what you will about TNA, but when it comes to pay-per-views, more times than not, they put on a good show. And in the poll results on NoDQ.com, it usually, the TNA pay-per-views, they get thumbs up. A lot of didn't watch, but you know, the people that did watch generally like the show. And you know, nothing you could really complain about. You had good wrestling from start to finish. The X Division match was crazy, all those spots in that match. Eric Young retained the title clean, so I mean, you know, that's good right there. I mean, TNA having a clean finish for the world title, and having the champion retain and actually beat his opponents without all sorts of shenanigans. So, you know, good for TNA. They put on a solid show, and I'll say this. I'll give the TNA roster credit for going out there and still giving it their best, even when the future outlook of the company isn't all that bright. And, you know, it was a very rabid crowd, and a decent-sized crowd, too. I mean, half the building was empty, but they were able to put a lot of the fans in front of the cameras, and it looked respectable. So, you know, good for TNA. Solid effort from them, no doubt. All right, this one comes from Nico Turi 56018. Hey, Aaron, been a fan since Talk Wrestling. Love your site and show. Do you think JR will ever call another match? Please answer in video. Well, you don't specify will he call a match in WWE or will he call a match in wrestling, period. I think the answer to both is yes, by the way. I think that JR probably will call another match at some point. Maybe WWE will bring him back to call one more match. I think that it's inevitable that one day it'll happen. There'll be the right situation, and WWE will bring him back for one more match. I definitely think it's a possibility. It just depends on the situation and the right match, and just the right timing. If JR's available for a big event and he's there, somebody might make the decision to put him out there. So never say never, but I think the odds are fairly decent that he will call at least one more match, as Christian would put it. All right, one more question here today from the Dark 11, ONE1, the number 1. Long-time watcher, first-time asker, please answer in video and keep up the good work. Thank you for that. When do you think The Undertaker will return to WWE? If he does, as I couldn't see him going anywhere. Also, has he been a heel in his dead man gimmick? Well, he came into WWE as the heel dead man, and then he was heel again during the Ministry of Darkness period in '99. So yeah, he was a heel when he was doing the dead man gimmick. As far as when he will return to WWE, I think that he probably shouldn't wrestle again. That's my opinion. He lost at WrestleMania. The streak is over. I don't really see a purpose in bringing him back now. You could bring him back for one more WrestleMania match, but To me, that wouldn't be the right call. I think that since he lost and the streak is over, that should be it. That should be the end of the Undertaker's run in WWE. And I suppose he could come in for the Hall of Fame at some point and then maybe do a farewell send-off match. You could always do that. But yeah, if he does come back, I think that would be the extent of his comeback. Doing the Hall of Fame and maybe having one more retirement match. But beyond that, I think that's the end for The Undertaker. Alright, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it on Facebook and Twitter. Subscribe if you haven't already at youtube.com/NoDQCAW. And I will see you guys next time for more No DQ&A video.